construction team. I watched it from its very inception. The overall project manager for the construction. And then we had the construction team led by John Drew, who did a brilliant job with the construction. And then of course we had the signal and telegraph guys with an excellent team who did all the signal and telegraph work. Now the lever frames that are in here came from two different old signal box closed by British Rail, one from Brockenhurst and one from Broadstone. When they arrived here, I saw them arriving in the back of the truck. They were absolutely covered in rust and pitted and in a terrible state. And our S&T guys have done an absolutely brilliant job in restoring the lever frame into its present condition. I'm hoping all of you will have a chance to go into the box in a few minutes and have a look at the wonderful work that's been done in there. While I'm mentioning volunteers, I want to make a special mention of a very special carpenter who unfortunately can't be with us now because he passed away a few weeks ago. Peter Poole, very well respected man, did some really beautiful work in the signal. Beautiful craftsmanship of these handhelds is one of his claims to fame. His widow, Viv, and two daughters hopefully are here with us today. And I'm sure we'll all be thinking of Peter at this time and hoping he's here with us in spirit. Moving on to the more strategic side of what this box is doing, it's a very important part of the future amenity service between Swanage and Wareham. This box will be the interface with Basingstoke Signalling Centre. Network Railway Signalling Main Line next year, and this box will then be talking to the signal at Basingstoke Signalling Centre. So if we want to send a train up to the main line, the signal here will have to ask permission from Basingstoke, and vice versa. If the train's coming off the main line, the Basingstoke signal will have to ask our signal for permission to bring it down. As you can see, it's been built to Victorian appearances, and we've taken very great pains to match the original box, which was here in the old days. The only difference being that the original box didn't have any windows in the front. Now, it is rumoured that that's because the station master's bedroom, being that room over there, was in full view of the signal. Could well have been the other way around, of course. I don't know what the signal about. Who knows? Anyway, it opened with the railway in 1885. British Railways demolished it in 1956 because it was literally falling apart. And I have it rumoured that certain levers were pulled in the box. The box would start moving with the levers. So British Railways closed it in 1956. They then moved the signalling over into that bit that sticks out on the other side there. There's a little signal box in there, which we used for a few years. But it had always been the intention of the Swanage Railway Trust to rebuild this box in its original position. And so when we got the funding agreed by our 200 Club, which is an internal funding part of the Swanage Railway, I think it was up to 200 guys working there, hopefully. Yeah. And without that funding we couldn't have done it. The box itself, the construction of the box, was £48,000, which, you know, bearing in mind that there was a lot of volunteering, it was quite a reasonable amount. Obviously the signal and telegraph equipment in there was costed separately. But anyway, it's all there, it's all working. I'm a signalman myself on the railway, and I can honestly say that we found virtually no problems at all with the signalling system. It is absolutely perfect, and we a very, very big thanks must go to our signalling and telegraph team, and Dave Cole in particular, who was leading that team. So there it is. We have present with us somewhere Stephen. Oh, there you are. Stephen Drury is the leader of Corfe Parish Council. Now this is right in the middle of this patch, and we feel that the new Corfe Castle Signal Box is a very, very added attraction to the whole ambience of Corfe village, because everyone that comes on the station we found looks straight at the signal box, and most of them get their cameras out. So they photograph this as well as the trains. So perhaps Stephen Drury would like to say a couple of words on behalf of the Parish Council.
Well, thank you very much, Mike. This is more than sort of recollections, really. As we heard, the railway came to Purbeck on the first train in 1885, and it helped hugely to develop Swanage as a holiday resort and opened Purbeck as a tourist destination, which has been developed, of course, ever since. In the 1940s, when I lived at Corfe here during the war, I used to go to school in Swanage. And one of the things I did, I walked across the track up there, came back, got in the train and went off to Swanage. And it was a lovely way to go to school in Swanage. But of course in those days there was no bridge. I actually walked in front of the train. And so far as I'm aware, there were never any accidents. And there were never any yellow jackets either. Excuse me, orange jackets. But back in those days, it was probably actually just after the war, I used to come up into the old signal box, which was beginning to crumble, but it was here, and the old frames were here. And together with the signalman, and I can't actually remember his name, but he was an employee of the railway at the time, South West Trains, I think it was at the time. So, Southern Railway, thank you, Southern Railway. I used to pull the levers, as the Minister's just done. But they were the other levers, I think. But of course they were too heavy for me, and the signalman had to help. And I put my hands on it. He actually did the work, but I did push the little catch at the top, I know. As we know, Mike has told us, the original box was demolished in '56 and the levers moved over into the station. And the line was beachingised in '72. During the '80s, we used to walk our dog on the track up there and also across the bridge down towards the clay works. And it was all fairly derelict, and at that time I don't think anybody believed it would come back to be what it is today. And the box has been rebuilt, and may I add the parish's congratulations to all of those who have done the work and created this magnificent box. I think thanks go to the railway generally and to all the volunteers for the work that has been done. I think hopefully it's going to be, well, we know it's going to be the centre for the signalling for the connection to Wareham, and hopefully that is going to result in a commuter service which will be able to take us all into Poole and Bournemouth in the not too distant future. We of the local community wish you all well and look forward to the time when we can once again commute to Poole and Bournemouth. Well done everybody who's been involved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. As I alluded to before, this box is a very important part of the future amenity service to Wareham, and we really, one of the reasons for this is it shows that Swanage Railway really means business in getting this community service up and running in the near future. We were lucky to get the funding from local councils for the re-signalling. We will of course still be looking for some more funding for upgrading the infrastructure and for rolling stock. And I'm sure we'll be lobbying people in various departments in the near future. So the Swanage Railway really does mean good business. We really do need to get that amenity service going, which is one of the main reasons for this signal box. I'd like to call now on our chairman of the Swanage Railway Trust, Liz Sellon. Would like to say a couple of words?
Thank you very much. I just want to thank you all for taking the time out to come, particularly Minister Drury, Network Rail, County Council, every department really through Dorset that has supported us, and mostly to our volunteers that are here and our staff. Without all of you and the efforts of all of us working as a team, we can't achieve things. This is showing us what we can achieve when we work as a team. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Liz. Just a few words now as what's going to happen now. In a few moments, the Transport Minister will be cutting the ribbon to formally open the signal box. We'll then have to go up into the signal box because she then has to unveil a plaque that was presented to us by the National Railway Heritage Awards. We won the first signalling prize last year. There are people here from the National Railway Heritage Association. I could call them in to come up into the box after we cut the ribbon, because I'm sure they all want to witness this special occasion. At 12:20, the dining train will arrive in this platform. There are probably just about the right number of people here to take up all the dining places on the train. So can I ask, so we don't get a complete bottleneck, that all our volunteers get on the carriage, the dining carriage at that end, and all the other people, our guest councillors and the guests, get in the bar car, which will be at this end of the train, and then they can pick. You preempted it. Well, drinks will be served on the table for everybody, and they can pick up drinks they want to the bar car. Okay. So without any more ado, I call on Right Honourable Theresa Villiers, Minister of Transport, to do the ceremony and cut the ribbon. So that's it.
Well, it's a real pleasure to be here today. It's always good fun to come and meet people on the front line of delivering rail and other transport services, but I can't think of many locations that are quite as picturesque as the one you have here. It must be one of the most beautiful places, one of the most beautiful locations for any railway in the country. And I echo all that's been said in terms of thank yous to everyone who's been involved with this project. You've clearly done a fabulous job. I've already had a sneak preview of the new signal box, and it's been tremendously, beautifully renovated and put together. I'm so impressed with what you've managed to achieve here. All the volunteers deserve a huge amount of credit, and also I'd like to pay tribute to the local authority involvement in improvements and providing and supporting the Swanage Railway. I know Purbeck and Dorset, and indeed Corfe Parish Council have all been very supportive. And so it has been tremendous teamwork. Congratulations on what you've achieved. I know you want to achieve even more in the future, and I wish you well with that.
Right, thank you very much.